Hello visuals, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Visual Guyz Entertainment News with me and, is it going to squeak? Squeaky chair. It's just me today, people. I'll let you decide whether that's ever a good thing or not. Because when it's me and Chris, there's at least a little bit of dynamic, because we get Chris coming in every now and then, but we get me rambling. But he can calm the rambling down a little bit, because Chris has got Chris has got to get his 2 fucking cents in to stop me from rambling, because I'll just ramble forever. But no, Chris is busy doing father duties and stuff, so the podcast are just solo down this week. Hopefully he still might make it to the cinema, but obviously family stuff comes first. Completely get it. Hopefully he can make it though, because we're watching together this week, which is minging because little Richie Rich is going to come, but he's got really gammy, so he might not be going, and I might be doing a solo trip, which is nothing. I love doing solo trips in cinema, absolutely perfect. But every time I've got the cinema, watch a horror, I've never done it solo, and I've always said to the person that I'm with, who watches a horror film solo, that's a little bit like creepy, not weird or out, like not what you doing, but like creepy, because I'm like, are they going to practice some of their own black magic or what? It freaks me out. But now I'm going to be that person. I've turned to the fucking freaky little bastard. So, but anyway, together we'll be getting watched this week, and you'll hear all about it next week from myself, and hopefully Chris, like I said, if he does pop along and tag along and shit. But we do have a few little roundup stuff to get through. Whenever I do these solo ones on my own, I don't usually give much news, because my news is kind of just like, I saw this trailer, bit of Spider-Man cracker, where we go, where Chris finds a lot of the niche stuff, like so-and-so's in production, they're filming this now, or filming's finished on that, so he's the news journalist guy. He's our version of Mark Bernardin. But anyway, we're going to do it. We're going to do a weapons spoiler heavy review. I might just pop through the shit, because I do have a couple of little notes of things that popped up on my social media timelines and shit. And I'm recording this earlier than I usually would. I'm recording this on a Thursday as opposed to a Saturday. So there might be some shit that happens on a Friday, Saturday morning-ish, that's gone down. But if we've missed it, we can talk about it next week. It's absolutely fine. Let's have a quick swag of the old brew. And we're in the bedroom, so we can kind of make this our OnlyFans. We'll do a, what the fuck's that category called? There's that fucking category where like the person's like sort of egging you on, like, yeah, go on, you can do it. Not yet. What the fuck? We're gonna do that. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a countdown, and that's when you can. What the fuck am I doing? OnlyFans coming soon, because I'm a broadcast bitch. Anyway, we'll start off with the stuff that I've got. We had the release of Alien Earth this week, and Jesus Christ, what a way to kick off a TV series. I'm not quite sure how many episodes it's going to be, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. Now, I'm not a big Alien expert. I'm an Alien fan, and I love the Alien stuff, and I know little bits, but I am not a deep lorist, a deep knowledgeable guy on all things Alien. So if there's anything you guys need to wrap me up with, please let me know, because there's definitely some things that went right over my head whilst watching these 2 episodes. But it was so fucking awesome. It was nitty and gritty and scary and very horror-esque and very, very gory. We got so much Xenomorph, spoilers by the way, Xenomorph action straight away. And I thought they would slow build to that. In my head, maybe I missed something from the trailer, or I'm not sure. I thought we would get Xenomorph stuff either like spread out a little bit less, or we'd get it a bit more as the episodes go on, then we'll end off with big Xenomorph action. But we already know what Xenomorphs are. We know what the crack is. They don't need to slowly drip feed it to us, do they? So we got it, and we got it in abundance. We got people getting fucked up left, right, and centre. We got fucking animals getting fucked up by eyeball monsters. There's some monsters and some creatures in this that I'm not quite sure I've seen or heard before in the alien world, like the little eye thing that attaches to your eye and shit, and we got the little weird slug things. And I think somebody pointed out that there was a fly creature. Didn't see that. But we got a lot of weird monsters, what we'll have to see. I'm pretty sure this is all prequel stuff, is it not? I'm fairly certain it is. I might have my dates and years and stuff right. I think this is pre-Ripley. Once again, please let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong. We've got the Wayland Company beefing with other companies, cyborgs and synthetics. Have we seen cyborgs in the alien world before? Once again, please correct me. I'm not sure I've seen a cyborg, or at least remember seeing a cyborg. We get the dude who was on the ship that we see at the start, who's trying to get back the alien because he's part of the Wayland Corporation. But we're definitely going down the route of obviously the early days of the synthetics and all this kind of stuff, and that core dynamic. Are they human? Are they not human? And I didn't know as well that the transformation could only happen with kids, because kids' minds were easier to teleport or to transport over to a new synthetic body and stuff. But I really, really, really enjoyed it. That the scene where the people are having a weird little, I don't know what they're doing. It's definitely a weird orgy, fucking weird Englishy sort of, fancy dress with the weird wig stuff happening, and an alien just goes in there and fucks them up. The cyborg dude, though, was ready to handle an alien. He has this weird gun to cover it in like spider web shit to take it away and stuff. The synthetic girlie, I can't remind her name now. She's got a brother, and it's all trying, she's doing whatever she can to get back to him, but she's extremely smart. We have this really cool little Ice Age exchange, because she's monitoring her brother in the real world while she's at the Neverland facility. And she's like interacting, and she sees him watching Ice Age, because the film they watched growing up and stuff. It was really fucking sweet. I didn't expect any to pull at my heartstrings as much as it did, but so awesome. Both episodes up currently on Disney Plus, and it's cool because I think the first episode was like an hour and 5, and the second was like 50-ish sort of minutes, 50 plus. So definitely go check them out. That was awesome. We also have our newest episodes of Twisted Metal and stuff. Twisted Metal, it continues to be so much fucking fun and so dumb and silly. We had a tragic little death in the last episode. We're racing now to get to this final wish stuff. We will see some controversy, though, because we see that John made an individual wish. As I yawn, they have Quiet made a wish, because they're in a race. The lad that played Zaz in Gotham, he's giving everyone this opportunity to have their own wish if they win this. Is it just called Twisted Metal? I think it is. They get their own wish, and there's one wish per car. We've got Quiet and John in a car, but the original wish was to bring down all the walls, but then he went back in and said he wants his sister to come back. If that does happen, I imagine she might come back, not what he expects, maybe a bit more zombie-like or some shit. There's probably a catch. I don't know the guy running it is demonic or what, but my Twisted Metal knowledge of the games isn't fucking massive, sir. Because we got the Reaper guy who's taking in souls, but it turns out it's just all in his head. He's just a bit mental. He's just fucking off his edge, but I'm still thoroughly enjoying it. Like I said, it's silly and dumb and over the top. So fucking happy with it, though. Wednesday, I think we briefly did speak about it last week. I didn't mind this first little chunk, these first 4 episodes. They're fine. It's not hitting me as hard as season 1. We are only 4 episodes deep, and I think we get the next, did Chris say, like, September some point? We get, like, the next round of 4 or whatever it is. Maybe as it keeps going, because there is a mystery there is stuff going on, and Jenna Ortega is great as Wednesday, even though Jenna Ortega's creeped me out with her new look at the minute. I don't know if that's an actual look she's got, or it's just like some weird fashion choice she's got for now, and she'll change it. Either way, it's, oh my god, I've pure fucked up the back of my leg somehow. Either way, it's freaky as shit. What the fuck have I done there? Oh, that's disgusting. I fell over the other day at work, and I got like the smallest little stone prick, but cut my hand open, and it was so fucking hard to bike home and shit. Poor little boo-boo. But yeah, I am enjoying Wednesday. It's fine at the minute. Some huge news for us Spidey nerds is we have Spider-Punk in development at Sony, and I'm pretty sure, as far as I'm aware from the title that I read anyway, it's going to be following the Spider-Punk through the Spider-Verse universe, that animation style and whatnot. Not a problem. Give me more of that. He is fucking awesome. This version we've got is awesome. Love anything Spider-Punk. We will take it in as much as we can possibly get and whatever they want to give us. It just says Spider-Punk in development, so I don't know if it's a one-off film, if it's going to be a mini-series or what it's going to be, but please, Spider-Punk any day of the week. And our last little bit of Marvel stuff is we have Ryan Reynolds rock up with a little post on his Instagram or whatever he put it up on, with the Avengers logo being sprayed out with I think it was it's what you call the Anarchy logo, isn't it? Implying that Deadpool's there to cause some sort of chaos for the Avengers. It's confirmed Deadpool with Avengers, blah, blah, blah. Here I feel like Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. Alexander Isaac to Liverpool. Here we go. With Deadpool to the Avengers, here we go. I can be your... Sorry, that was quite niche. Anyone that doesn't like football probably doesn't know who Fabrizio Romano is. He's a guy that just breaks all the transfers and being like, oh, so-and-so's going to so-and-so. But yes, Ryan Reynolds kicking up a bit of news for our Avengers / Deadpool goings on in the next couple of years and shit. Because the Secret Wars... Is it next year or is it 2027? No, I feel like it is 2026. Once again, correct me in the comments. But this is where Chris needs to be here to be like, no, Don, actually, it's next week. And I'm like, wait, it's next week? What? This wouldn't be that fucking quick. Right, finally, we'll do our weapons review. Spoiler heavy, so anybody that's not seen it yet, go check it out and then come back and listen to me ramble on about it. I think we're done with the notes, aren't we? We'll leave them on my lap, though, because Dog will come and get them and be a prick. Weapons. I will quickly say it debuted with all this 100% Rotten Tomatoes, blah blah blah, and I don't live and breathe Rotten Tomatoes. It's always nice to check and have a look, but there's been plenty of times Rotten Tomatoes, the reviews of like the actual critics have been like, no, 50%, the audience been like 100%, and sometimes it's vice, it's the other way around and shit like that. I like to look at it because you can get a rough feel, but sometimes it's miles off. This debuted at 100%, and I thought, oh shit, okay, so this is going to be an absolute masterpiece whirlwind. And I will say, this film was fucking awesome, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was really, 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 really fucking good. I don't think it was like the best horror film we've ever had, though. People say the best horror film in years. It's up there and it's in a conversation, but I don't think it's solidified and cemented. Just because I started off like that a little bit negative, but there's still not much negative about that. I still massively, massively enjoyed this film. But in terms of like horror this year, I think I'd put Sinners Down still above it. I would put 28 above it. There's a chance that Together might be above it next week. Together looks really good. The Conjuring coming out soon, and as well, that's going to be a bit of an emotional one. It's our last sort of outing with Ed and Lorraine Warren and shit. Plus, some woman come up online saying don't watch the new Conjuring because it's been filmed with a demonic entity inside of it. I don't believe this shit, but a little part of me's going, hang on a sec. If I go watch Ed and Lorraine Warren do some mental shit, am I going to be fucking possessed or what? Fuck knows how it's going to work. I don't know how you capture it in 3D digital shit, whatever it is they're doing. But anyway, I don't think it's solidified yet as the best horror in the last few years, but it's definitely in the conversation. But anyway, Weapons is what's the fuck's his name? I should have written the director's name down. The guy that did Barbarian. Oh, fuck, I can't remember now. Anyway, Edgar Wright? Edgar Wright. I can't remember now. Absolutely phenomenal film. So we know the premise. Some kids get out their house at 2:15 at night, and then they wander off into the darkness. The parents are like, where are the kids? They're all from this one classroom. It's 17 of them. One kid remains. The teacher remains, and it's a case of what's she been telling the kids to make them do this, or what's he been doing? Why was he the only one that didn't go out? And it's like a little bit of a conspiracy of who done it, where are they, what's going on, and then we start to unravel it a little bit more, and it turns out basically it's a witch. One of my biggest fears, it's this horrible, disgusting, minging witch called Gladys. Can't remember the lady's name who portrayed her. I don't think I've seen her in anything else. But Gladys, was it Gladys or Gladys? We'll just call her fucking Gladys. Who was fucking terrifying and disgusting and horrible and minging and get the fuck away of it. I have seen a lot of theories as well on this about like she could be a parasite or have a parasite in us, and they have suggested evidence otherwise, but we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, so a witch has rocked up into town, and she's the one that's causing all these people to go a bit like docile, like they're still in their bodies, but like their minds have gone like brain dead, and they're just like these walking husks. I guess, to do her bidding and going nuts or whatever. And I think she lives off the energy, or she feeds off them, because she's really ill and sick and old, and she's, hair's falling out and whatnot. But the more people she gets, her hair's slowly growing back. She's got a bit more life in her and stuff. It's a bit weird that the second people see her, though, they don't go, fuck this shit, this bitch is clearly mental, get the fuck away from me. Because there's a few times that she rocks up at Benedict Wong's house, and he's like, okay, they are looking at her weird, but he doesn't want to let her in, but his husband does. I'd be just getting a chair and smashing it over her head. I'd be like, this is clearly a witch, get to fuck, see you later. Because when they offer her water, it's like, do you want a water? She's like, yeah, can I have it in a bowl? Immediately you go, no, you fucking can't. Get to fuck, you're a creepy little bastard. Who the fuck is drinking water out of a bowl? But that's the overall premise. The kids go missing. Who's got them? Where are they? What's happened? Let's try and solve it. And as we go through the film, because it's done in chapters each, like a lot of individual characters get their own chapter, and they all sort of like overlap and going in sync with each other and whatnot. And yeah, it's filmed beautifully. It's directed well. It's written amazingly. One of the biggest things that I got from this, and I can't remember the last time a horror really did this. I don't know the best way to describe it, but you know, in horror films, it'll be dark, but they'll still have like lighting in there, but it's like unnatural lighting. It's kind of like, you know, maybe a light from the distance or a light of the camera or some shit. When these had dark, when this had dark scenes, it felt like, you know, when you get up for a piss in the middle of the night and you haven't got the lights on, and that's kind of how it felt to me. And I thought it was so good at being eerie and minging and weird, and the jump scares were timed amazingly. Like Julia Garner's character Justine, when she wakes up from her nightmare, and then it's like one of them ones where, oh my god, okay, it's nothing really there, but she looks up and the witch is there in her face. And she does, because you know, usually it's like in a horror films, it's like a bit of a cliche, isn't it, to have a nightmare, wake up from the nightmare, be like, oh, but then really still be in the nightmare and get jump scared again, and then wake up again. You don't see the second waking up, you just see the jump scare and on with her life. I don't quite understand why Gladys targeted certain people with dreams and shit. Like, she goes to Archer, Justin Brolin's character, she gets in one of his dreams, and she goes in Justine's. I don't know if she did that purpose, or it was just an effect of her being in the town that it happened. Maybe there were other characters that had these nightmares, but we just didn't see them. I'm not quite sure. I have heard as well there's a prequel in the works, which would be fucking awesome. It's a bit minging because I'm glad that she's dead. We'll get to how she dies in a sec, because she's disgusting, horrible, and creepy. But I would like to know more of a backstory. Was she born a witch? Did she have to practice? What the hell is this weird tree thing that she has? But it's... Oh, a quick swag of coffee because I'm rambling too much. But yeah, sorry. So anyway, there is one really, really fucking awesome sequence. It's what the fuck's the cop? Fuck. What the cop? Paul. His name's Paul. What's his real? Anyway, Paul the cop. I'm forgetting everybody's name here. His wife, who I am 99.99% sure is Jessica's lesbian friend and new girl. I'm so confident it's her. I should have googled it before I started. And it was weird seeing her not as a lesbian. I've never seen her in anything else, and seeing her in this is like and I'm like, that's fucking Jess's lesbian pal, who clearly doesn't like dick because you're a lesbian. Obviously, the actress might not be a lesbian in real life. I don't know, but it was just weird seeing her in someone else. They have a great shot because Julia turns out that she's sleeping with Paul behind, we'll call her lesbian friend of Jess's back. And they have this really beautiful filming technique where Julia Garner keeps going to this this liquor store, and they keep her in frame, but in the back, because she's going down the different aisles, you know, because they're like straights and lefts and whatnot. She's tracking her in the back, but she keeps going in and out of frame as we're turning these corners of the aisles, and she eventually catch up with her. It makes you think it's like a horror-y moment, but it's not. It's just her attacking Justine because she knows about Paul and stuff. And it was, I was like, this is beautiful. This was filmed so phenomenally, absolutely gorgeous. I love, and it's not even like a build up to horror aspects. It's just more of the character relationship dynamics and stuff. Amazing, out of this world. Another shout out to one of my scenes of the year so far. Oh my God, what the fuck happened here then? This was revolting. So Justine, the last kid who's, survived the class, who's still in school and whatnot, the 18th kid who didn't go missing, she's trying to speak to him. She follows him home and whatnot. She stays outside of his house because his house is weird. There's newspaper on the windows and shit, and she tries to have a look in and speak to him a couple of days prior or the day before, and she sees in the house that his parents have just sat on the couch doing fuck all. She's like, what the fuck? And she shits herself and stuff. So she goes back and she just stays outside, and oh my God, we have one of the most disgusting, it's giving me goosebumps fucking thinking about it now, scenes I have ever seen in my entire life. So the front door opens and the camera leaves you on it for a good few minutes, well, maybe a minute or so, of just the empty blackness, the void of inside the house. And all of a sudden the mum comes out in this, I'm pure goosebumpy, I'm home alone as well. Coming out, and she with this weird, unnatural, disgusting pose with a pair of scissors, in her hands. And she's just like coming over, and you're thinking, oh, okay, here we go. She's going to bang on the car. Justine, please wake up. Get the fuck away from me. This is disgusting. But then she moves from the front window after staring at Justine for a couple of seconds. It goes to the back, and you can hear the boot open, and you can hear her crawl in. But the whole time the camera's stuck to like the right-hand side of Justine. And you can see her crawling, you can hear her, crawling in and whatnot. And then you see like the hands and scissors come over and snip a bit of hair. And that's it. And I was like, that scene had me on edge so fucking much. That was disgusting. That was horrible. What the fuck? It was beautiful. It was fucking amazing. So one of my scenes of the year, without a shadow of a doubt. Josh Brolin's character Archer I really love that name as well. Had a weird dream sequence where he wakes up from his boy's bed and he thinks he can hear he hears him running out the house, and he goes to chase him down. And he gets back to his own house, I think it is, but he sees a massive gun floating in the air with a 217, the time that the kids got out of bed and vanished. And I'm not quite sure what the gun signifies. I've heard people say it's a political message. It was something in America where they were trying to ban assault rifles or something like that, and there was like 217 votes to 234 or some whatever the fuck number is. And I don't know I think there's a political message there. I think there's a couple of political messages, but they went over my head. One, because they're political and I'm there to watch a horror, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. And second of all, I think it's American politics, so it definitely went over my head. But we had that, and it was still really cool, and we get a nice little jump scare where Gladys is pretending to be Archer's boy and freaks him out and whatnot. The ultimate coming together at the end is just phenomenal as well. Which, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, to be fair. So each chapter stage, we get Julia first, then Archer, and then do we get Wong after? I don't stop calling him Wong. He's not Wong in this. Well, his real name is Wong, in Benedict Wong. The teacher, is it him? Was it we got after that? No, I think it was Julia, Archer, then I think it was the cop, and then it was the teacher, and then it was the homeless kid, the crack addict, the heroin, the drug addict guy, who I do know his name. What the fuck's his name? Austin Abrams. He was playing James, wasn't he? Yeah. I swear to God, I'm supposed to be fucking remembering these names and shit. I think it's that order. So when we get to Benedict's spot, the head teacher, it's they're obviously asking about the kid, where his parents are, and the Gladys comes in, she's like, oh, I'm his auntie, his dad's ill, and blah, blah, blah. I'll be doing all the dealing. She goes into school to see him. She's like, oh, can I do a house visit? They do a house visit. She rocks over. He has a weird trait. Him and his fella have got like two Disney shirts on. One's like classic Mickey Mouse, one's Steamboat Willie. She comes in, does all this shit, and then she turns Benedict Wong. He headbutts his boyfriend to death, and his I don't know if this Benedict Wong's acting. I don't know if this is makeup, special effects. I don't know, but his eyes just start to really pop out, and it's fucking vile. And then she puts him on a mission to just chase down Justine and get her. He does it. He meets up with her as Josh Brolin's confronting her. And she's like, look, she's like, hang on a sec, what's his face? And he's running down the street, screaming at her. He tries to get her, he has a scuffle with Josh. She gets away, Josh gets away, and as Benedict's chasing after her, he gets obliterated by a car, just smashed up to smithereens. That's his chapter. It was freaky and horrible. There's a lot more message. Like, I've heard people counting down the amount of hot dogs they had on their plate and shit like that. That's for smarter people to decipher, and I'll watch a video breaking that down and stuff. Justine's one we've talked about. She deals a lot with alcohol, and she's got her own problems and shit. She gets suspended for the school for a bit just for the questioning. Josh Brolin's one, Archer. Why do I keep saying Josh Brolin? Archer's chapter's really awesome because he tries to kind of like decipher and break down where the kids went using the Ring cameras. Speaking about the Ring cameras, somebody did point out that with all the Ring cameras in that town and shit, they could have easily worked out, if they got all the footage of all the Ring cameras, where the kids went, and they would have seen them going into that house. I don't care about that little plot hole. I don't really care about that. Oh, fuck, that doesn't really make sense. I still had a fucking fun time. I can easily overlook shit like that just for the benefit of the story, so hey up. And he uses to get one of his neighbours, who's the laddo from like Tusk and shit like that. Jeepers Creepers and shit, can't remember his name now, who actually survived a horror film. He's usually always dying. He gets them and he cross-references where his boy left and where their girl left, and like where, which point do they overlap at. And Justine's like, oh, that's that weird house. So they go there to investigate. The police one's odd because you see him after, because we get a moment where he sleeps with Justine, and then she drops him off, and the scene carries on with her. But when we get to him, it carries on with him, and he's going out with the sergeant, or whatever they're called, daughter, and he's a little bit iffy, and he's got this, and he catches James because he's James trying to break into somewhere, but he hits him because James stabs him with says, you got it in your pocket. He says no, and He goes through his pockets, he gets hit with a needle, so he knocks him out. But then he's like, fuck, I need to sort this out because this is like police brutality and shit. And it's all kind of cleared up that way, and you kind of think, what connection did that have to any of this weird shit? But when you get to James's one, you do see what's happening, because James is out there in the woods, just sort of trying to get his next hit and stuff. Keeps going to this pawn shop, so he sees a poster for the kids and a 50 grand reward. He doesn't think much of it. He then he breaks into the house where the Gladys is staying and stuff. And I don't know where she was when he was breaking in. She must have been like resting up in the bedroom. Or maybe she was at Benedict Wong's spot at this point. Wherever she was. He finds the kids. Even though like he sees the parents on the couch, proper brain dead, like that. And he's like, oh fuck. But then he still carries on the roll. I would be straight out of there. He goes to the basement, sees the kids, and he realizes, hang on a sec, these are the kids that, I'll get the reward. So he's going back to the police station. James sees him. Not James. Paul sees him again, arrests him, says, I told you not to fucking come back. And then he says, I can show you where these kids are. They go to the house and they both get took over by Gladys. But then Josh and Julie Garner rock up. They go in the house. He gets possessed for a split second. It's quite funny. He has a fight sequence with James where he keeps launching him left and right. And he keeps coming back, he keeps hitting him, keeps knocking him out. And I did see an interview of Josh Brolin saying that Austin Abrams was doing his own stunts there and whatnot. He says, I really was chucking about from left and right and stuff. So that was really fucking awesome. We get a cool jump scare where Josh Brolin goes downstairs and he sees the kids and he's looking around for his boy and the witches, and then she quickly just like jumps out and snags him at him. But he's only possessed for a couple of minutes because the boy who was left in the classroom, Gladys's nephew, he's getting chased off his parents in the most disgusting, demonic way ever. And he uses the branch, the weird little bit of magic that his aunt uses to possess people. He cuts himself, he wraps the kids, whatever it is, round the twig, snaps this twig. But it's cool because when he snaps it straight away, she goes, oh dear, oh no, she realizes what's happened. She then runs and 17 fucking rage-infused, anger-infested kids chase after her and go absolutely fucking berserk. But it's at this point, it turns into a bit of a weird comedy. Kind of like 28 did at the start of the year. Well, a few months back at least. We have like this weird comedic sequence at the end. 28, after digestion a few more times and watching it again, I could easily, well not easily, like I'm some sort of fucking genius. I was able to break down what they were trying to do there, and I appreciate it and I like it. But with this, like, kind of get like Guyz running through houses, arms waving, kind of shit going through people's front rooms and people's gardens. Like there's a moment where there's a guy mowing the lawn, he sees her run, and then about 2 seconds later it's with loads of the kids, and he's like, what the fuck's happening here? Kids are just bursting through windows, smashing down doors. We kind of get like a somewhat POV shot of one of the young girls in the pack sort of smashing through a door and chasing her, turning right and getting after her. Gladys goes through this fence, shuts the fence, one of the kids get through, takes her down, and they all come, and when I say they rip her apart, they physically rip her apart. You see them grabbing her by the top of her head and pulling her jaw apart and shit. They dismantle this lady, and it was such a satisfying demise to one of a very easily hated and scared character. What a beautiful ending. That's why the prequel, it's going to be nice knowing she's been a dick, but we know how shit ends for you. So yeah, extremely gory. And then that was weapons. Some amazing action sequences. Because even though it was weird that chase sequence at the end was weird, I didn't get it. I don't know why it went comedy. But it was really well filmed. The tracking sequence in the shop, the jump scares filmed beautifully, the nighttime sequences filmed amazingly, the mystery and the tension and the build. Okay, what the fuck's actually happening here? The introduction of Gladys and trying to break shit down. Like I said, somebody said there was a parasite because you can see it when they notice. I didn't notice it, but they noticed that when Benedict gets his head like sort of popped off and getting run over, and when she gets ripped apart, you can see like 2 little spores, kind of like Last of Us type shit, that they could be taken over. And she does say to Benedict Wong, what word does she say? Devouring? No, consumption. Because people are saying like the stages of each chapter are like is it the 5 stages of grief and all this kind of stuff, denial and anger and all this kind of shit, which makes sense, I get it. But whether or not this is, it's because they have this weird black liquid that comes out of Benedict Wong and then into his fella and shit. So maybe there is like a weird parasite thing going on. That's for the smarter people to break down. But yeah, oddly funny at times, beautifully acted, beautifully directed, really well written, really awesome fun film. It definitely gets a 10 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It doesn't take much for me to give it a 10 out of 10 though. When I give 10 out of 10s, take it with a pinch of salt, because I am very optimistic on films and very forgiving and shit. But it's one that will stick with me. It probably will make my top 10 at the end of the year. And a few actors and stuff, and this might make the list as well, and a couple of scenes. But yeah, you'll be fret, you'll be intrigued, you'll be jaw-dropped, you'll have a giggle. I think you'll be thoroughly entertained. It's a beautiful, beautiful film, well-made film, with a great mystery, great little plot twist, and a great story. So I highly recommend you check out Weapons Visuals. But there we have it, a small little bit of news, and a Weapons spoiler-heavy reviews. Let me know what you think of my review in the comments, Visuals. If you have already watched it, let me know what you think. And if you're going to go watch it, let me know how excited you are and stuff. I'll talk all about together with you guys next week. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, Visuals. You guys are literally the fucking best. And remember to always keep being you and keep on, keeping on.